Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing these crimes, report them immediately.
I'm Polly.
And I'm Peter.
We host the Traffic Jam Show on City FM.
From 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Do the right thing.
Yana Vinaka, Fiji. In this bulletin, COVID-19 testing continues to prevent resurgence. Lockdown brings sore families closer, and tough times for nightclub owners.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The Ministry of Health says it will continue to conduct COVID-19 testing on a daily basis to ensure any resurgence of the virus is nipped in the bud. The Health Ministry says their testing capacity have received a boost with the 360 Gene Expert Kit that will allow them to obtain results in less than an hour. And the minister responsible says they are not lagging behind in the efforts to continue and defuse the killer virus. Koroi Tandalala reports.
The new test kit will allow Fiji to up the ante in COVID-19 testing with the 360 Gene Expert running alongside the initial reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction.
It can turn around within 45 minutes. So at the moment, Fiji Center for Disease Control, our molecular lab, they're going through their testing and validation until when they're ready, and then we can begin this wholesomely.
Later next week, 10,000 tests of PCR diagnosis test kits donated by the Chinese government.
Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wangainambete says the mobile team are currently on the ground conducting house checks and collecting swabs from those displaying any symptoms.
We also know that we will continue to receive regularly the ability to be able to do this testing. We want to also ensure that we build that capacity around.
14 out of the 18 COVID-19 patients have recovered from the virus, placing Fiji's recovery rate at 78%. The health minister says Fijians should continue following the COVID-19 measures to ensure there are no new cases of the virus in the country. Koroi Tandalala, FBC News.
3 days after coming out of the COVID-19 lockdown, residents of Soso and Lambasa are taking life from a different perspective. Eleanor Tarangaview spoke to some residents who shared their experiences and the lessons learned during the 28-day lockdown period, which ended last Saturday.
It's exactly a month today since this community, consisting of 96 families, was placed under lockdown after one of its residents tested positive for COVID-19.
At the beginning, it was kind of like boring, but then during the lockdown, I found that we were able to spend a lot of time with our family members, and we were able to also clean up our compound and do a lot of work.
For this family, the 28 days lockdown period was basically family time.
After 5 years, all my family members, we were together, we were sitting together, and when Ramzan started, we were staying together, pray together, and we eat together, and it was a good time.
For others, the lockdown period was a chance to rebuild relationships, which due to busy work and life schedule had seemed faded.
Before we normally return home from work, we just eat, sleep and prepare ourselves for the next day. However, the 1-month lockdown allowed us to spend quality time with our family.
Despite the movement restriction, residents are grateful that the lockdown meant preventing the spread of COVID-19.
I felt the most important thing about being locked down is being safe.
The residents have also expressed appreciation and gratitude for the assistance rendered by government, police, the Ministry of Health and the various businesses and organizations.
Those people brought food, groceries, everything were there, so we were happy even in lockdown.
Residents also testified to the great communityship experience during the lockdown period, and they have learned to appreciate things much more. Eleanor Tarangaview, FBC News.
Nightclub owners are doubtful whether business will return to normal once government restrictions are lifted. The capital city's vibrant nightlife has been over for almost 2 months now, leaving DJs, bouncers, waiters, music and light technicians out of jobs. Onyx Fiji owner Sean Chow says they employ 60 staff and had to temporarily lay off 80% of them. He adds they are using the shutdown period to give their clubs a facelift.
We've taken this opportunity also to do some renovation and some little bit of upkeep of our nightclub, hopefully in the hope that when we do open very soon, our customers should be able to walk into a nice newly renovated and fresh nightclub. Right?
A 57-year-old retired school teacher from Beddoes Place in Samambula, Suva, died following a motor vehicle accident. Police confirmed the victim was driving near Mbambavore along Kings Road in Tailevu last Saturday when he allegedly lost control of his vehicle, which veered off the road. The victim and his partner were rushed to the Corvo Hospital, where they received treatment. However, the retired school teacher passed away yesterday morning. The road death toll stands at 9 compared to 19 for the same period last year. The National Fire Authority has recorded 28 structural fires between January and March this year. Acting Chief Executive Officer Milete Seningora says 27 of these were residential fires. While marking International Firefighters Day, Seningora says it's crucial to practice fire safety at all times to help men and women who dedicate their lives to protect others. In 2019, NFA recorded 140 fires compared to 158 in 2018. Seningora says the highest causes of property fires were electrical issues, and this has been a growing concern. She adds they are working with relevant agencies to help address the issue. The National Fire Authority has 624 personnel serving in 19 fire stations around Fiji. Supplementary student resources are now available. The Ministry for Education says the resources provided during the extended school break can now be collected from respective schools. Minister Rosie Akbar says heads of schools are strongly advised to comply with all the health and safety regulations in place and ensure there is no overcrowding. Social distancing is maintained and hand sanitizers are available. The ministry is calling on parents and guardians to liaise with their heads of schools and follow the scheduled timetables to avoid overcrowding at schools and dissemination centres. Fiji received over $230,000 worth of medical equipment from China, boosting our efforts to help protect the frontline health workers. Health Minister Dr. Feremi Wanganambete says the support from the Chinese government reflects the strong relationship between the two countries. The Chinese ambassador to Fiji says they are committed to helping Fiji protect its citizens from the deadly coronavirus.
This batch of medical supply includes 1,000 pieces of medical disposable protective clothing, 1,000 pieces of medical protective goggles, 100 pieces of infrared thermometers, 1,000 pieces of N95 protective face masks for medical use.
In the midst of all this crisis, humanity is still very strong. And for that, we are truly grateful to the People's Republic of China, for your officials, for the many other organizations within China that are supporting the fight in Fiji and also in the Pacific.
In sports after the break, Fijian players in France well looked after, and individual training a challenge for Silktail's rep.
Oira na ngone no de nunu ena be singeni mataka.
Mersi sunga da kena loma dina kena mikron.
Sakena ngau na mitaro bina nora baksa ngai ka pala loma takina ngone. Dala bina oya o meliki.
Bulre oya o Samuel Samuli.
Nama kikirau ena be mataka.
Boniti kina pagrombuka.
Ni boy tiri kalimana miniti me ono kina tiri na kaloko. Ena Radio Fiji One nandobo ibiti.
Pinda na mataka. Dan ramai na singabo.
The question on the welfare and future of Fijian players in France is yet to be answered.
Yeah, thankful that we have a very good relationship with the French Rugby Federation, and we're working with them to ensure that our players are looked after by the clubs.
Individual training has been one of the many challenges players are facing during this period. Kaviti Silktail's fullback Ratutiimodina Motukula is not spared from this as he faces difficulty in loan training. He says rugby league is a team sport which requires squad training, and loan training has defeated the purpose of competitiveness amongst the players.
Training with teammates is a bit fun, and we got competitive place. Training with a team rather than training alone, which is a bit boring, and we are not used to it.
The Fiji Chess Federation has joined the global chess community in moving competitions to online platforms amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. General Secretary Guru Arvind says this is one safety measure they've adopted and an alternative way to continue their scheduled events. Arvind says this will also allow all junior players to experience international competitions from their homes without incurring any travel costs.
We can field multiple players. Unlike if we had to fly them in abroad, we'd be sending fewer players because cost would be involved. But in this case, it's easier for us to rotate players. We can give more young players who have not represented Fiji before a chance to play online.
And taking a look at today's weather, it'll be cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, cloudy periods with afternoon or evening showers. And that is your FBC Morning News. Join us at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. Remember, in times of crisis, you need factual news that you can trust. Stop believing fake news about the COVID-19 on social media. Fight misinformation by getting only the facts about the coronavirus from verified news sources like FBC's TV, radio and digital media news. www.fbcnews.com.fj, keeping Fijians connected with the truth.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही हैं।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर।